South African Christian religious leaders are part of a global delegation that's spending Christmas in Bethlehem in solidarity with Palestinian Christians in that conflict ridden region at the moment. Reverend Frank Chekani, St. George's Cathedral's Anglican Church Dean Michael Wieder, among a group of prominent clerics locally, joined by international Christian leaders internationally who are currently in Bethlehem, joined now by Dominee Riaan de Villiers, who's the Dominee of the Nederduitse Gereformeerde Kerk, the Groote Kerk here in the Cape Town CBD. Riaan, good morning. I hope you are well.
Good morning, Lester, from Jerusalem at the moment. It's good to speak to you, and also good morning to all the listeners.
Tell me about your mission, your plan, the reason why international Christian clerics are in the Middle East at the moment, especially over this Christmas period.
Yes, Lester, we have heard the outcry of the church in Palestine, and with the current war and the genocide that is happening in Gaza, especially at this time of Christmas. Christmas is a time where we celebrate the coming of Christ into this world, who pronounced peace to all mankind. And in this time, we are reminded by our brothers and sisters here in Palestine that it's very difficult to celebrate Christmas in a time where there is no peace. And they have also invited us to come and visit here. And there was a big group, ecumenical group, that's the word we use for different Christian traditions, different churches, who has decided to travel over here to come and stand here in solidarity with our brothers and sisters at this very and emotional time that are going through. So we are planning to travel here from Jerusalem, where we've been meeting many Christian leaders, members of civil society, to travel to Bethlehem, to be there during the worship services during Christmas.
October 7th and the subsequent war is seen by many as possibly an inflection point in a 75-year-long situation and conflict in the Middle East. There's been a particular response from religious leaders and drawing in the parallels between South Africa, Israel, and Palestine. South Africa had what was known as a kairos moment, a significant theological response to the deepening crisis of apartheid in 1985, in the mid 80s. Do you see something similar in your analysis of the current situation being some sort of inflection point in what's been happening in Israel-Palestine?
Yes, it is definitely been a time, I think, where the after the 7th of October, as you have correctly stated, it is something that did not happen on the 7th of October, but it's been a pressure cooker for quite a while, for about like you say, 75 years, and we have heard stories. I mean, we've met with many Christian leaders here. We have met with just normal members of civil society that are a part of the church and have been telling us about the enormous pressure that has been experienced. People who were born here, 7 generations, people who are not even struggling to have citizenship. We have heard about people being going around the country, who are being searched, who are especially after the 7th of October, young people who were born here, who are just part of the community here. They are being stopped at checkpoints. Their phones are being taken if they show any. Some of them have family members in Gaza at the moment. We have spoken to a lady who her family lives in Gaza, and some of them are now sheltering in the Orthodox Church, half of them, and the other half are sheltering in the Catholic Church in Gaza, just to try and to separate the family, because if of those places are bombed, because we have seen some of these religious institutions also being bombed in Gaza, so that if somebody in the one section dies, the other part of the family will still hopefully be alive, and just the emotions, the pressure. We've seen a people who are yearning for free solution, and I think we are at the moment where the world needs to come and in solidarity with people who are, living under occupation, under a apartheid system that cannot continue like this. There will be no peace, no world peace. There will be no peace for Israelis, and no peace for Palestinians if this situation continues. And I think for us as church leaders from different denominations in South Africa, we have also heard from the church here that they feel alone. The Christians here, they feel as if the world church are not hearing them, not standing alongside, and therefore it's been important for us to come here, and which is a very situation, but also not that complex. It is this situation where people are living under occupation, and opportunity where we must seriously think, how can this be resolved? So freedom, especially at this time of Christmas, and to have peace, you have to, and many Palestinians are living under injustice, and peace cannot be without real justice.
Riaan, you've met with and are meeting with Palestinians, Muslim and Christians, but you're also meeting with families of hostages currently being held by Hamas. What has been some of those accounts of people on both sides of this particular divide?
Yes, so we have, and in the past 48 hours, have had many meetings. We have met with Orthodox church leaders, Catholic church leaders. We have met with the African Palestinian community. We have met with the Greek Orthodox bishop. We've met with Anglican church leaders. We have met with Muslim elders and members of the Muslim community. We have met with released Palestinian prisoners. We've also met with the African Palestinian community. We will today meet with families of these Israeli hostages in Gaza. We will also meet with rabbis for human rights in Tel Aviv, and we have also met with the former Israeli ambassador to South Africa, who has, he's been, I think, been the ambassador in 2000, when President Mandela was still in South Africa. He was the ambassador at that time in 2009, I believe. And so we are hearing from different sides, and especially from, mostly we have at the moment spoken to the Palestinian Christians, and what we have heard from them is, from the Palestinian prisoners especially, is just the tremendous suffering that they are experiencing as well. Young people who are being locked up, being kept locked for 5 years, with their families not knowing also when they are arrested where they are. And we have today we will meet with some of the Israeli members of families and hear their stories from their side. And that is, that's the program for the moment.
Really appreciate your time. Dominee Riaan de Villiers of the Groote Kerk here in the Cape Town CBD, part of an international delegation of Christian clergy who are currently in the Middle East. They will spend Christmas in Jerusalem and in Bethlehem.